right, Goodreads. Is this the best you have to offer? Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brie and this is 4 Paws in a Book. Today we are going to be talking about the Goodreads Choice Awards. We're going to be reading books that are in the Romantasy category. This is the second year that I am doing Romantasy, but this is the 4th year that I am doing a vlog where I read the contenders, the nominations. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna read all of them. That's definitely not happening, but my plan is, of the 20, read the ones that I want to read. I feel like that's a good plan. I feel like I'm hoping that I've read a lot of them already, but we'll just see what happens. They came out last night, so we're going to react to them and we're going to see what's on that list. I've been spoiled a little bit, but I tried not to look at the full list, so we're going to do that. We're going to make a TBR and we're going to just we're going to vibe this time. We're not going to put a ton of pressure on it, but it's going to be a fun time. Here's the plan for the video. We're going to first figure out which ones I've already read, then we're going to rank them, and then as I read the books, we will slot them in. On November 23rd, I believe is the date, it shrinks down to 10. So before that, we need to make our first vote. And so whatever is at the top of the list of the ones that I've read is going to get that first vote. And then we'll do the same thing again for the finals round. By the time we get there, whatever is the top ranked book will get our vote. And we'll just go from there. So that being said, let's pull up Goodreads. Let's see what's on the list. Okay, well, first off, Bonds of Hercules, Villains of Lore #2 was not on my list originally, so that's fun. I haven't read Bonds of Hercules yet. I want to. I don't know that I will get to it in this video though, because I'd have to read 2 books for it. Silver Elite, knew that one was there. Obviously, we knew Onyx Storm was going to be here. Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Here's the thing. Goodreads, I have a bone to pick with you because I didn't put this in my top 20 because Bride was in romance. And if you watch my predictions from last year, I put Bride in the Romantasy category and was screwed then because it was in the romance category. They're messing with me. They're like, oh, you're gamifying this? You're gonna get points? Here's another one. And obviously, like, this is gonna make the top 10. Enchantra, okay. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Well, this looks cute and cozy. I didn't have it on my list though. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I figured that one was on there. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I didn't think it was Romantasy. that is my bad. That's my bad. Direbound. Accomplice to the Villain. The Songbird in the Heart of Stone. I thought that was last year. I wonder if it just missed the cutoff. So I got that one wrong because I put book 4 on my predictions, not book 3. But book 3 makes more sense that it would be on there. Our Vicious Oaths by Annie Davenport. I didn't think this one would make it because it literally just came out like maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So I didn't put it on there thinking it wouldn't make it because it didn't have like a ton of hype. But I'm excited. That's so really cool. The Night and the Moth. Figured that one. On Wings of Blood. I missed that one. Nope, that's on me. That's on me. I completely forgot about this one. In my predictions, like just forgot that it existed. I own it. It's up there. Forgot that it existed. But it was pretty popular. I remember at Villains and Vixens, like she became a ticketed author really quickly, which is so cool for her. But yeah, I forgot about that one. The Wrath of the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. I didn't put this one on here because none of the other ones in the series had ever been nominated. So good for her. But I DNF'd the first book. Rose in Chains, figured that one. Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan. Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. Again, with the switching genres. Because I had to read book 1 because it was in fantasy. And then book 2 was also in fantasy. So why is book 3 all of a sudden a romantasy? Alchemized by Sinlin Yu. Figured that one. And then Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. Figured those 2. Listen, it's not great, but it's not 0. There are a few authors of color in here. There's no queer representation in here, but there are a few POC authors. And so we are making progress. There's that. So how many did I get right? Okay, I'm back. I did some math. These are my predictions. I had 20 predictions and I got 10 right. So if you're following along, I have 10 points so far out of a possible 20. There's a total of 50 points that I could get once the final happens, but obviously now that's not going to happen. It's kind of like March Madness when like your team drops out that you thought was going to win and then your max points go down. There was a total of 50 points that I could have gotten, and I've gotten 10 so far. So not great, not great. And of the 20 books that are on here, I have read 5 of them. So not great. Not great. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's rank the books that I've previously read, and so then we have like the book to beat. Of the 5, the only one that I actually gave 5 stars to was Onyx Storm. I don't know that I like stand by that 5-star read. I think part of it was just like the experience, because we read it on release day. We read it with a bunch of friends and we were all kind of going back and forth and talking about it as we were all reading together. So like part of that was just the experience of it. So I don't know that I would like necessarily still classify it as 5-star, but like I don't go back and change ratings. So it's out of 5 stars. So technically this is the number 1 rating. I hope something beats this, and also I probably won't actually vote for it because it doesn't need my vote. Like, let's vote for a lesser one to maybe get up into the top 10. And then I gave 3 books 4.5 stars, which is like cool. So like they're basically close enough, right? So we have The Night and the Moth, we have Direbound, and we have The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So how do we rank these? This is interesting. I think we're going to go, I don't know. Oh, okay, locking this in. We're going to go Songbird and the Heart of Stone, just because I was in the minority, and most people didn't love that one as much, and I really did. Then we're gonna go with Direbound, just because it was such a fun reading experience. And then The Night and the Moth. But all 3 of them are fantastic. And then number 5 is Enchantra. I gave that one 3 stars. Okay, that's the ranking. Now let's read a book. Let's pick a book. And this is like decision paralysis, I guess. But I think we're going to go with Silver Elite first. This was on my November TBR already, and I kind of like knew it was going to be on here, so there's that. And I'm just really excited about this one. I think a lot of people are talking about it, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm in the mood for dystopian romance, take down the system kind of thing, you know? Those elections last week, like, kind of gave me a little hope. So, let's start reading that. I have an update for you and also a package to unbox. So we're going to do that. I meant to come to you sooner. Sorry, I just had like an ambient music playing while I was finishing up work. Just kind of like, you know, calm, peaceful. I'm home by myself for the next 2 nights. I really don't know what I'm going to be doing with myself. And I also am working from home those 2 days. So I don't really even need to leave my house, which is great. We are putting up Christmas at some point during that time, or at least in here, and then I'll like kind of start getting stuff ready, and then Derek and I could do it on the weekend together, like the big part. But let's talk. I am 163 pages into Silver Elite. That's almost like 30%, I think. Okay, I'm gonna put it down though because it's heavy and I don't want it to take up the whole screen. But I am having a good time with this. Do I think that it is fantastic writing? No. How it got as much marketing as it did, I don't know. Could not tell you. It is a fun time though. I don't know, like maybe dystopian romance is like a thing that I'm enjoying. It's been less romance, and I'm imagining that in book 2 we will definitely see more romance, but there hasn't been like a clear main male character that has happened, like that has come up. Like we've had bits and pieces of different things that are happening, and I'm like, okay, he's it. Oh no, he's it. Like, I don't know. So that's the only thing, is like I don't have a couple for them, like, you know, I don't have a couple to look at and to think of yet. But again, I'm 160 pages into, what is this, 500 pages? 510, something like that. My God, like, I have so much to read in the next 3 weeks. It's fine, because I just, you know, there's a lot of 500-page books. It's fine. We're doing fine. I'm having fun with it. It's reminding me of the series The Gender Game by Bella Forrest. And I have very fond memories of this series, or this, like, it's like a 6-book series, I think. Here's the thing. This book, that book, very problematic. Like, I do not recommend it at all. It's, you know, it's very much like the binary gender system. We have like, you had a matriarchal system and a patriarchal system, and they were at war with each other. And I think there was a lot of interesting social commentary about that, but there like was no queer representation. There was no conversation of like, what about non-binary people, that kind of thing. The book itself, problematic, wouldn't recommend it. However, it is the series that got me into reading as an adult, because I like found a Facebook ad for it, and then I downloaded all of the audiobooks, and it was when I was driving a lot for work, and so I listened to like the whole series in like 3 months, and that spurred me on to reading a lot more, and so like and starting this channel. So I look upon it fondly, but this is giving a lot of the same vibes to it because that is also a dystopian romance, before dystopian romantasy was a thing, because I read it back in 2017, I think, 2018, and and obviously we were 6 books in at that point, so I don't know, I can't remember when the first one was originally published, but anyways, neither here nor there. The vibes are the same, and I'm kind of having fun with that part of it. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. I'll probably listen to some more tonight. Like I said, I'm home alone. I might just like chill and play Sims. It might be a thing that happens, but I do want, oh, don't show my address. I am going to unbox this. Look how cute this is. So this is from Jasmine. This is like stuff, like it's new books so that I can do content for it, but look how cute it is. Look how cute. She has like little special tape. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I imagine it's Battling of Continents, but it also might be, there's no way that we have the special edition for Banishing of Kings yet because it just got published. So I don't know what this is, to be honest, because it feels heavier than one book. There's bubble wrap. Lots and lots of bubble wrap. Okay, so first off we got some stickers. Fat boy. I love it. Love it. And then we have Scalda. Come on, we know you want to focus. There you go. Some more stickers. An extra laminated edition sticker pack for you. Ha, cute. The artwork. Thank you all so much for the hard work you've put into making Dragonfire books. Crazy to think it's almost been a year. It has almost been a year. That's so cool. Okay, and then a little bookmark with Bale on it. Okay, so we have the paperback. Look how chunky he is. Oh, this is such a big book, but look how floppy. Oh my god, I love how floppy this is. So this is book 4 in the series. I still need to read book 3, but it is also chunky and scary, and it's gonna probably be a early next year book. Because we don't have time for that with Goodreads. And then, what is this? This is all packaged up. Oh, you know what it could be is the anthology Kickstarter. Because I think those were starting to go out, which would make sense to put it in the same box. No, maybe not. I don't know. Oh, that's the hardcover. Okay. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, look how big it is. It's so big. It is so big. This doesn't even have an audiobook yet. Because book 3's audio just came out. Because like, think about like when you're self-published and you have to pay for the audiobook, you're paying per hour of the work. How many pages is this? Epilogue. 733 pages. So, anyways, that is that. So I imagine that means that the anthology that she did is going to come in another box. So, anyways, that's all I have. That's my update for you. I'm going to chill and hang out for tonight, and just kind of listen to Silver Elite, I guess, and build Sims houses, because why the hell not? I made it to 70% of Silver Elite last night, which I feel like is a lot. I may have stayed up a little bit too late reading it, and I've been so invested in the story, and so I credit where credit is due. This is definitely something that is it's a bingeable story. It very much reminds me of Direbound in that way. Not that the stories are anywhere similar, but just like the writing style and the way that it just sucks you into the story. What I don't think it is a romantasy. And so that's a bit of a struggle for me. There's just, I don't care about the couple. And I feel like in book 2 we will be able to, and who knows, maybe we're getting like a Spark of the Everflame thing where it's like book 1 they're, barely together. And it's not until book 2 that you really start seeing that, that relationship develop. And that very well could be what's happening. Where we have sex in the story, we have smut, but we don't have that yearning, that pining, that you know, I don't care about him. I love her. Also, I love the name Ren. I know it's a name that's like made up and whatever. It's not necessarily her name, but I love that name. That's a little side note there, but I don't care about him. And I don't care about their relationship. I'm not rooting for this relationship at this moment, this romance at the moment. I think that like had this been a fantasy, or I mean, I guess it's fantasy, it's not science fiction. Like most of the time you think of dystopian as more science fiction than you think of romance, or than you think of fantasy. Sorry, it's early. But I like this one, there's definitely like, there's magic. They are like they have these mental powers and things like that. So it's definitely fantasy. It's not science fiction like you would normally think of with a dystopian story. Something like Hunger Games feels more science fiction than it does fantasy. I am breaking out so bad. I never break out. Like I don't have terrible acne anymore, but recently, like literally within the past couple of weeks, and I don't know why. I haven't changed anything. My makeup hasn't changed. The only thing that changed was like I went to Las Vegas, but I don't know why going to a new place would be a reason. But it's annoying and I don't have time for it. So therefore I'm just trying to cover it up so I can film today. Is that worse for the acne? Yes. But you gotta do what you gotta do. We'll take care of it tonight and we'll do like a face wash or something. But anyway, so yeah, I think if this was a fantasy, I would actually really be enjoying it, because like the larger system of it, the politics, her story in this academy, the trials that are going on, like I really enjoy that part of it. I don't care about the romance, and like this is the Romantasy Goodreads Choice Awards, and for that I am struggling. So anyways, those are my thoughts. I probably won't come back to you until I finish the book, but I really I should have talked to you sooner than 70%, but it was super late last night and I looked like a hot mess. And also I have no good lighting in my office, especially at night, unless I like get out my light box, which is not gonna happen. So today the plan is I need to clean my office so that I can decorate for Christmas. But I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow. So I just need to clean today. So that means I can finish Silver Elite. Here's the thing, I'm enjoying the story. I will definitely read the next book. And like this is like sitting at like maybe a 3.5 right now. But it's just not, it's not what I wanted it to be. And maybe it's because like I just had super high expectations for it. Like I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna love this. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of glad though that I did not end up getting the special edition of this. Like there was a Fairy Loot edition, I think, that came out, and the weight on the queue, and I think it was just because the website was glitching or something, I don't know, but it was like 3 hours, and I was like, I'm not waiting for this. I don't have time for this. So I gotta get back to my life. So I ended up not doing that, and then on the same day, Quicksilver had a special edition come out through midnight maybe, I don't remember. And so I was like, well, I'll just spend my money on that one instead, because I knew I loved that book. I already gave it 5 stars, and so like it doesn't go against my TBR number or anything like that, but like I'm kind of glad that I didn't get a special edition of this. The standard edition of Silver Elite is lazy. For as much marketing that was put into this book, for as much like investment into that area of it, the book itself is designed lazily. Like all it has is the and this sounds so bad, right? Because if we were having this conversation 2-3 years ago, we'd be like, it has sprayed addition, it has a sprayed edge, even though it's a solid color, who cares? We love this. But like now, because we have gone so far in that direction of like special editions and sprayed edges and things like that, me saying like it's a solid black cover with like a little bit of design work to it, just bold text, and then a solid sprayed edge, me calling that lazy sounds insane, but that is where we are in book design as far as traditional publishing. And so I don't know, I'm just like, this is it's boring. Like the book itself, the cover, the design of it is boring. The book's not boring, but the cover of it is boring. It's uninspiring. That's the right word for it. It's uninspiring. And I think maybe that's why I put it off for so long. We 100% judge books by their covers. We 100% will pick up stories or not, or the reverse of it, not pick up stories because of a cover design. And that is what it is. The reason why I'm thinking about this right now is because I just watched Cassidy's Owlcrate video where she like read all of the Owlcrate books. And she was talking about A Forbidden Alchemy. And that cover doesn't represent what the book actually is. And I own that book too, but I haven't read it because the cover kind of looks cozy-ish, right? There's like a bird in a cage and it has like an Emily Wilde feel to it, but the book is not that at all. And so I don't know if that was like doing people a disservice because people are like, I don't know if I want to pick that up because it doesn't feel like a me book, but it actually is because the cover doesn't do it justice. That is a tangent. That is a side note. A Forbidden Alchemy is not even on the Goodreads Choice Awards. Would have been nice if it was, because then I would have had something else that I owned that I needed to read. I've been chatting for like 10 minutes at this point, so I need to talk. I need to cut this off. I will come back to you when I finish Silver Elite. Hello, I've finished Silver Elite. I'm struggling with this book. I really like the concept of this book. I will definitely read book 2. This book is so weird, okay? And I think I have this problem with every single dystopian story, whether it's a romance or not, outside of like Hunger Games, and I think that's just partially the nostalgia of it. But I always want more. I always want to know more about the world. However, I could really see this being a movie adaptation or like an HBO series or Apple TV series. I could see that really working for this. I really love the politics of the story. I really loved the government system and overthrowing that and like the magic part of it. I liked the fantasy part of this. I did not care about the romance. I really didn't until like the very end. I did like the end of it when they were kind of trying to work together, but I wanted that sooner because up until then she was using him as just like a sex toy. She was using him like, I don't know, so we had like these smut scenes that were just meh, like there was no emotion tied to it, and that was for a reason. They were supposed to. They weren't supposed to be like emotional at that point, but I wanted that for me to like want these couples to be together, if that makes sense. And so I don't know, it's just it's fine. It was fine. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars because I really liked parts of it, and I do think that book 2 really could pop off, and like I'm really going to love the romance in it. Much like if you think like Spark of the Everflame, right? Sometimes you don't necessarily love the first book of it. Honestly, like even Fourth Wing was like that for me, where I didn't love the first book of it, but like I really like the series as we go along. Anyways, first book down of this vlog. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not the 5-star read that I was expecting, you know, or was hoping for, because everybody in my circle has been loving this book. They've just really enjoyed it. They've like had a good time with it. And I will say, this is a bingeable book. Like it's big, and I read it very quickly, and I wanted to continue listening. So the listening the reading experience, the listening experience, however you want to say it, I think like that says a lot about a book, that you want to continue reading it. However, I think that like the romance in this is lacking. That's okay. It's a first book. It'll get stronger. I can confidently say though, this book is not AI. Not AI in the slightest, okay? Like I know that people were like dogging on this book, but the world building, the lore, the government, the like political system that is set up is too cohesive. It is too parallel, and it's like it makes sense throughout the whole thing, and we're just not there with AI yet. Like we're not there. So yeah, are the characters maybe a little bit flat? Sure, maybe, but I don't think that they're like flat enough to like make the claim that this is an AI book. Especially like the emotions between Ren and her uncle, and the grief that she has, and like just like almost the anger that she builds up as the book goes along. That's not something that AI can write yet. We are not there, okay? We're not there. So, okay, 3.5 stars. This is where I'm putting it on the ranking. Obviously, it's not going to top obviously it's not going to be, like, it's not 5 stars, so it's not going to top that. And it's not going to beat out those 3 that were 4.5 stars, but I think we are going to put it above Enchantra. The next book that I am going to be reading is one that I am going to regret. I need to read it so I can be done with it. should I just skip this one? Probably. But I'm going to read Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Listen, I can't drag on this series if I don't at least try it, right? If I don't at least try it. So that's what we're gonna do. I have the audiobook for it. I don't have the physical book or the ebook or anything like that. I just got the audiobook off of Audible. So we're going to listen to that. Teddy Hamilton is the narrator though, so at least there's that. This book is about a side character that was in Bride, and she is a half werewolf, and she is like fated to this other alpha, I guess, as most paranormal romances are. This is an interesting like bridge between romantasy and romance, and I think putting this in the romantasy category solidifies romance as like not having any type of magic. We don't have any paranormal romance in there, and so it's like anything that is not like literally of this world is not going in the romance category this year. That's a whole other conversation because like we also don't have any like historical romance. It's just contemporary romance, but we don't have any type of paranormal stuff, because if you think about like The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping is also a little bit like more contemporary style, but like she's a witch, and so we're broadening the genre of romantasy when I don't necessarily know that we needed to do that because it's already such a saturated market, but it is what it is, and we will press on. But I'm gonna read Mate, and I will come back to you with thoughts. Let's chat about Mate while I do my nails. I have one hand done. I needed to get some flat lay footage of like holding books and stuff for authors while we still had decent sunlight outside, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go do my one hand, then I'll come back and I'll do the other hand. So that's what we're doing. I am about 50% of the way through Mate. This book is fine, okay? It's perfectly mid. And I do think that if you like Bride, you're going to like this one. It's a fun paranormal romance. What I will say is I think Goodreads actually made the right decision with it being in romantasy, because last year it was in romance, which like really threw things off. I thought Bride would be in romantasy and it wasn't, and so then I was like, oh, Mate will be in romance, so that kind of messed everything up for me. It's fine, it'll definitely make it into the top 10, and so that'll mess up my rankings even more. So if you liked Bride, you'll probably like Mate. That's fine. Like I didn't like Bride at all. Potentially the worst Ali Hazelwood book that I've read. This one is not the worst. I don't care about like the macro plot that is happening. I will say it's definitely a sequel, so if you're like wanting to read this without reading Bride, I don't think you can, because there's a lot of like politics at play. There's a lot of stuff like that's going on within the like just the general world of the story. I think it kind of reminds me of, and like not saying this as a comparison because I like that series, but the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. There's a lot of like politics at play. There's a lot of movement. Like all the families are doing things like they're important. And so like there's just like a seriousness, a dark undertone with it. And I just don't care about it. Like there's a lot of characters at play. There's a lot of characters that are that I just either don't remember from Bride, or like they just weren't big enough players in Bride that when we went into Mate, like we're expected to know the things and we don't necessarily. What I will say, what I'm actually like really enjoying is the commentary on women's health in terms of like fantasy romance, because there's a lot of discussion about her and like how doctors aren't taking her seriously because of X, Y, and Z, and she has this issue, but like her hormones are not responding to the medicine, and they're just like saying it's because you're a werewolf, and like they're not doing anything for her, and I think that's like, I don't know, like it's a really interesting parallel on women's health and like how so many doctors are like, oh, it's just because you're a woman, oh, you know, it's just you're just on your period, you're just having mental health issues. And so I don't know, I very much enjoy that parallel. And I think that she's doing a good job like talking about social issues, talking about this commentary in terms of like this funny werewolf romance. So I don't know, kudos on that. But yeah, this is just feels like a 3-star read. That's my update. I did one finger, but you know, I guess I don't have that much to talk about. I should have thought about that. But anyways, I will touch base with you probably not until I finish it, just because I don't know that I'm going to have that much to say. Like I really contemplated DNFing it and like not finishing the book, because like I could, like obviously this is not going to be the book that I vote for. This like, so the purpose of this, of like trying to find the winner for, or my winner or whatever, like obviously this is not going to win for me. I could DNF it, but I think I'm just gonna stick with it about the audiobook. So like, I should use it, right? I'm gonna try to finish it tonight. I don't have much going on. I do have like just a bunch of stuff to do for authors, but it's all just like making graphics and things like that. I signed on 2 new authors, which I'm really excited about. Both of their books sound just so cool. So one of them has a urban paranormal romance with a vampire and a succubus, and it's very like Crescent City coded. Like some of the comp titles when she did her editing, like her she had done like a content poll and like kind of a marketing analysis, and so I was reading through that document, and like people were, or whoever it was that had done that, was describing it as like Jessica Jones, Lucifer, which like is my favorite, one of my favorite shows. So I'm very excited about it. It's called Sugar in the Blood. And then the second one that I'm going to be doing content on is called Obsidian Sky. It actually comes out in February, and it's her debut. And I don't know, this one just sounds like, I've been around for long enough that like sometimes I can tell when like a book is gonna pop off, and maybe I'm just too close to it because like now I'm like, oh, I'm the one making content for this, but it feels like it has all of the makings to pop off, but we'll see what happens. So I'm excited. She's excited about it because it's her debut, and so I'm really excited just to get to like share that excitement with people. But this is like a Dragon Writing Academy romance, so you know, 4th wing. And the cover is stunning. Like the cover is so pretty. So I'm very excited to make content for both of those. So that's what I'm gonna be doing tonight. And I can finish this book. I can listen to this book. So anyways, I guess I'm gonna go finish doing my nails. I could have continued talking, but I talk with my hands too much, so this was not a great idea. Is it a win if it was better than Bride, but still a 2-star read? Okay, 2.5. We're gonna give it 2.5 stars. I didn't care. I did not care at the end. I should have just DNF'd it. I was listening to it while also watching a football game, and it was just, I didn't care. It was so predictable. And it kind of like hinted at like a Shifter Omega-verse style romance, and maybe it's just like I have not read enough of it, and so that's just like a general trope. But I just like, I don't know, the weird, like, maybe werewolf romances just aren't for me, because I cannot, like, I do not find the idea of being in heat sexy. Maybe it's because I have dogs that, well, not anymore, she's spayed, but like would go into heat, and that is the most annoying time, because they make a mess everywhere. They are just the whiniest bitches in the entire world, literally. And they're just, it's not a fun time. And so maybe it's just, maybe I'm not a dog, like, you know, I'm not a male dog, so I don't find it sexy. And so when they have this huge buildup to her being in heat, and like, you know, knowing she's going into heat, and then like, there's this whole like setup for this to be romantic and emotional and blah, 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 like, and I didn't care. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe this genre is not for me. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just move on. So we're gonna put down the bottom. It's gonna go below Enchantra. And I need a win. I need a win with this one. Okay, I am going to be reading Our Vicious Oaths by Annie Davenport. This is the one I think I am most excited about. I didn't predict it on the list, and I don't know, I'm excited about it because in the past week or so, I've seen so many TikToks about this book, so many people hyping this book, praising this book, so many people are talking about it, and I think it's going to be a Brie book. I gave her last book 4.5 stars, or the like first book in that duology, and so I don't know. We'll see. A warrior princess, a vengeful king from rival Fae courts form a fierce alliance to take down a merciless despot in the journey of powerful magic, enemies to lovers romance, and political intrigue. Like, this feels like a Brie book. This feels like it's going to be a 5-star. Is this the book? Is this the one that I will find that will end up being a favorites of the year? Because that has happened every single year that I have done a Goodreads Choice video. And am I setting myself up for failure now? Because I'm like, oh, I have to find one, and I'm hoping that it's this one. But this one I think is the one that, like, of the books on there that like I am super excited about, this is one that like I could see struggling to make the top 10, and so I want to read it before Tuesday, and then that way I can get in my vote, and so if it is a 5-star read, I can vote for this one. So we're gonna do that, and I will chat with you later. Today though, I'm putting up Christmas. It is time. It is that time of the year. Is it maybe too early? Perhaps. I don't care. I don't care. It's not Thanksgiving yet, but it's close enough. I officially hate this time of the year because God, the lighting. But I am a little over 20% of the way through Our Vicious Oaths. Normally I wouldn't update you this early. However, I'm about to go into work for an 8+ hour shift, and all I have are spreadsheets and reports to do today. So I foresee myself at least passing the 50% mark. And I was like, well, I want to do something before that. So here we are. Good news.
Who likes good news? Everyone? Then good news, everyone.
Good news. I am obsessed. I am loving this book. It is so much fun. I was afraid that it was going to like be too smutty, because we start in chapter 3, I think, with a one-night stand, and it is a good smut scene. Oh my God. It's a good scene. It's hot. Oh my God, it's so hot. And it's just a one-night stand, right? So we have no idea who this person is. They're not telling each other who they are. It's just like purely physical and her just trying to get her emotions out. She has anxiety about this upcoming marriage that she doesn't want to be a part of. And so she's like, I'm going out for one more night. I'm going to do what I want to do. And she does. And go off, queen. I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her. And then, come to find out, obviously, it's a much bigger deal than that. But I was afraid at the beginning because, you start with that, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be too smut forward. It's gonna be too much. But now we're really starting to get into this political intrigue and this there's an assassination. There's a red wedding. Okay, there's a red wedding, and if you know, you know. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you know red wedding, right? That happens in this book. And I don't know, that's just my thoughts at 20% of the way in. The narrators for this, fantastic. Oh my God, they're so good. I feel like I'm rambling this morning. I slept for 3 hours last night, so today's going to be really fun. But I have to work here at the office for about half the day, and then I am going to go visit a store and do a practice audit because they didn't do very well on their actual audit. So then their re-audit is next week, and I'm just going to go in and make sure that they're on track. They're ready to go. Anyways, we're trying not to kill people over here. Trying not to make people sick when they eat food at our restaurants. What a fascinating novel concept. All that to be said, I'm having a fantastic time with this, and it's, obviously we're still very early on, so I don't want to say, yes, this is going to be the win, but so far, so good. I am here with an update because it's been a couple of days and I need to talk to you. But I am 70% of the way through Our Vicious Oaths and I'm still obsessed with this book. Okay, should I talk to my therapist about why I love this book? Probably. I love her, okay? She is such a badass and she's so strong and she's so independent, and it's so much of this I don't need anybody, but I'm letting you into my life kind of thing. And there was a moment that I was listening to a bit ago that was just where she fully let her guard down during a scene. And I think one of the interesting things about this book that I was worried about at the beginning was that there's a lot of smut in this book. This is a very smut heavy book, and I think if you like more fantasy focused romantasy, then this may not work for you, and I think that's kind of been the general consensus. But for this, it's just working so well for me because the smut that is there, though there is a lot, it all serves a purpose. It all is it's there for a reason, and it's there to further the plot, and it's there to further the tension between the two of them. She's so strong and independent, and she kind of uses sex as a weapon almost, but also as a shield. She's using it to wield her power, and it's doing something for me. It's doing something for me. Should I talk to my therapist about this? Yes, absolutely. Okay, is this a healthy relationship? No, but I still ship it. I'm still so here for this. Oh my God. I'm so glad too that 70% and I am still loving this book because I I had such high expectations for this. I remember like when I started this book, I was like, this is the one that's going to be a 5-star. And I'm so glad that I at least so far am right. Cause so far it's still such a 5-star read for me. There's still a lot of like politics in here. There's a lot of like, going back and forth between these two nations and using their power to control the other person and therefore controlling the other kingdom. So there's still a lot of fantasy to it. I am so impressed by how this author has been able to blend the romance and the fantasy in a way that like feels so seamless, right? This book feels, I mean, it's long, it's a 500 and something page book, but it feels like I'm being taken on a journey. I'm reading this very quickly, and I'm so immersed in it every time I pick the book up. I've been going back and forth between both like Kindle Unlimited and listening to the audiobook. And you know, even though I have the physical book, I don't think I've actually picked it up one time. It's fine, don't worry about it. It feels like it should be so much longer because I feel like the journey that we have been on with these characters and this story and this romance, I feel like we should have taken so much longer, and it feels like it's so well fleshed out on both the politics side and on the romance side that we should be a lot farther into a story, or we should have read a lot more pages. And so the way that she is able to use such a small amount of real estate to do so much, it is quite honestly like, I am impressed. I am so impressed by this book so far. That's the update. I'm hoping it's Saturday today. I'm hoping to finish this one today. I think I have like 2 hours left of the audiobook. I need to film one video, and then after that I'm just going to like sit on my couch. I need to catch up on my crochet because I have not been working on my genre blanket because I was waiting for yarn to come in. Unfortunately, even though I ordered the same color, it's a different dye lot, and so it is not quite exactly the same color. It's fine. It'll be fine. But I'm a little frustrated about that. But because I was waiting on that, I'm behind on my yarn now, or on my rows. So I think I might just do that this afternoon and just like listen to my audiobook, finish it up, and just chill, just relax. So yeah, I'd love to be able to finish this book and one more before the final round like starts, or I guess like the opening round of nominations closes. I'll come back to you after I have finished this book. I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I finished this book and I gave it 5 stars and I'm obsessed with it and I love it, and I'm sad that it's only a standalone. Or at least, like, that's from my research. It is a standalone. And I need it to be a series. I need more of these people. Okay, here's the thing. I am a feminist, right? I am a feminist. I wholeheartedly stand on that. But there is something about my wife when a man says that in a book, especially when he is, like, he is also a feminist. Like, she's so strong. She can do whatever she wants. She has so much power, and he respects her for that. Yes, he is kind of morally gray. He is not the greatest to other people, but her, oh God, he's like, that over there, that's my wife. Yep. And I don't know, 5 stars. Obsessed. I'm obsessed with this book. Okay, I love it. The bad news is not the bad news, okay? The good news, bad news is I messed up the dates. I saw the 25th and I was like, okay, that means I have until the 24th to read a book. That did not, no, I had until the 23rd. I did realize that, and so I did go and put my vote in. I just didn't do it on camera, but I did vote for this. And now the top 10 is out and we're going to live react to it. The bad news is that I was not able to finish another book in time to like add to the ranking. So obviously, like, this is our ranking right now. This was my vote. And now we're going to figure out the top 10, I guess, and see how we did there. I wasn't able to read another one. I really wanted to, but I got to listen to an audiobook for R.L. Davenor for the Psalm of Ash and Silk. This will come out at I don't know when the actual release date is for it. It's either December or January. But she doesn't like listening to her books at the, to make sure that they're ready to go. And so I got to do it. So that's what I did this weekend, because I had to listen to it like slower, make sure that there wasn't any problems with it or anything like that. And it's not. So I need to also message her and let her know that it's good to go. But let's go ahead and find out what the top 10 is. Well, I got spoiled that Mate is on there, so, because it's on your things on your list. Okay, here we go. Onyx Storm. We are not surprised, okay? We're not surprised. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I am surprised about that one, actually. Because I didn't even think it was a romantasy. So do we read that one? I don't know. Shield of Sparrows, not surprised. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I am very surprised at that one. And Accomplice to the Villain and Emily Wilde's Compendium. That's 3 cozies. Alchemist, not surprised. Enchantra. Okay, good job. Mate, not surprised. And The Night and the Moth. Not this one. Come on, guys. That sucks. That sucks. All right, so I did pretty good. So, like, here are the top 10. Here are the ones that were my guesses. So let me go do some math and see how many points we have. Okay, so I got 6 right of my top 10. And then obviously, like, Mate really kind of threw a wrench into things, and also Emily Wilde's did, because I did not think that those would be in the romantasy category. I do think that they belong there. I think I am most surprised that Silver Elite is not in the top 10, because that was like my prediction for like a top 3, just because of how popular it had been. But maybe like my circle of people were excited about it. But here's what we're going to do, because I need something different than this. And so I think I'm going to read A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping next. I feel like that's very, very different. And on its surface, it doesn't feel like a Brie book at all. However, I read The Best Hex in October, and I had so much fun with it. It was a 5-star read, and it was such a like nice light palette cleanser. And I think maybe that's what we need today. And so that's what we're going to read. And then we're definitely going to read Shield of Sparrows. That one, like, I own, and I definitely want to read that one. And then if I can get to it before the winner is announced, then we will read Wild Reverence. That's the order that we're going to go. Those are the 3 that I would like to read that are still in the top 10. Hello, we're chilling by the Christmas tree again today. I have a couple of updates for you. The first one is I got a whole 60 pages into The Witch's Guide to Innkeeping, whatever this is. And I did update. Listen, this is a book that is going to be loved by a lot of people. There are going to be people that love this book, and it's going to be right up their alley. It's not my kind of cozy. And I was really hopeful, because I did like The Best Hex ever. Obviously different authors. But I was like, maybe I can do a cozy little rom-com, that's paranormal. And I couldn't get into it. I think the writing was not what I was looking for. I think it was like a little too quirky and not just like cozy, if that makes any sense. There was just like, I didn't like being in her head. She was too quirky. And I couldn't do it. So anyways, we DNF'd it very quickly. But I am about 30% into Shield of Sparrows, and I'm having a good time with this. I think the writing is very well done when it comes to the world building of this, and the lore and the politics and like all of the world building. I'm not sure I love being in her head. It's first person and there's only one perspective. And I kind of wish we had a second perspective, and I wonder if in the sequel we will. But she doesn't know a lot about what's going on, and so like she's being dictated a lot of this lore and stuff as we go on. And I don't know, sometimes she has like this inner monologue that's going on where she's like, it was like this, except not like that, like this. And sometimes that's getting a little annoying, but the dialogue is really great. The politics are fantastic. And just like, I don't know, we were on a boat for a little while, but it's not really a boat book. Now they're in tree houses, and honestly, I'm like, this is kind of cool. It's very unique. It's very different. And I also kind of like this like found family aspect with her 2 maidservants that are like close friends, because like they're the only people that came from her land as she's like going to this other land for this arranged marriage. So I'm enjoying that part of it. And it's like reading so quickly. I read like 200 pages of this physically yesterday, not even on audiobook. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so I picked it up on my Kindle, and I was just like, I laid on the couch. It's Black Friday, or it was Black Friday. We had a football game, and like I just read all day, and it was so nice. So I think I might do that again today. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna go back to reading this. I'm having a great time. It will likely be the last book for this vlog, simply because tomorrow is like the last day to vote, and so I don't know that I'll be able to get to Wild Reverence. But we might read that in a different one. I know there are a lot of people that have really loved that book, and so if it ends up on BookTuber favorites, that might be a thing that happens. Hello, I'm about 60% of the way through Shield of Sparrows. And I don't have a ton more to talk to you about. I will say that this book is like, extremely bingeable. I don't know, it's just really easy to follow along and try to like figure out what is going on. And I appreciate that. I do think it might be too long. I think it might be too long. And I think part of that is because like the way that she writes, she over explains things a little bit too much. And I think that comes from like being a contemporary romance writer and like feeling the need for like your audience to, sorry, my screensaver just went on and it's bright orange. When you write contemporary romance, or like she writes kind of like romantic suspense, when you transition into a fantasy, you almost feel the need to like over explain things to your audience because your typical audience isn't a romantasy reader, I guess. But here's the thing, when you're writing in Romantasy, it's going to be like you are finding a new audience, and it's not necessarily that your audience is going to cross over. I think there's obviously going to be crossover, but not everybody. And so I don't know that it was it's not necessary to like over explain everything. That's my only thing. That's my only complaint with this book, but it's still good. Like I'm having a good time. I really love the story of it, and I do love the tension that we are getting in this book between our two main characters. I almost wish we had a second POV. I see why she did it. I know why, but I kind of want his perspective. Yeah, I'm hoping we get that in book 2. I hope we get his perspective in book 2. Other than that, I'm still having a good time. I am hoping to finish it today. We need to close this vlog out. I don't think it's going to beat my favorite right now. And so like currently, obviously like Onyx Storm is the only one that like I gave 5 stars to in this top 10 so far. But I think I'll probably vote for The Night and the Moth just because, you know, Onyx Storm doesn't need another vote. We're playing for second at this point. So that's my update. I am going to go get my hair done. So next time you see me, hopefully my hair will be, it will look better. It is rough right now. It is so rough. I hate getting my hair done. Like I like having my hair done. I hate the process of it because it's several hours where you're just sitting there. You can't do anything. And I am too busy to do that. But until then, I need to film another video, and I need to just like work on content for authors. I have 2 newsletters I need to get out today. So that's the plan for this morning. But I am going to try to finish the book. So I will talk to you later. You're getting a phone clip, which means you're getting a tiny mic clip. I know people hate this on YouTube, but I'm so sorry. I was filming TikToks and I didn't want to get my big camera out because my desk is a mess. But we have to talk about the winners of the Goodreads Choice Awards, and we have to figure out how many points I got because it probably wasn't very many. Listen, it was a lost cause, okay? It was. I have it pulled up here on my computer. Surprise to absolutely 0 people. Onyx Storm won the Romantasy. Shocked, I tell you. 298,565 votes. What is this, okay? The difference between first and second is absolutely ridiculous, okay? Alchemized, second place. That's actually pretty high, but I should have known. I should have known because TikTok kind of like went all over that. But that one is at 86,230 votes. So the difference is over 200,000 votes between first and second, and that is insane. Insane, I tell you. The Night and the Moth getting the 3rd place though, that's exciting, okay? I'm very happy with that. Also a beating Mate, which came in 4th. It's fine. It's fine. We're not mad about that at all. 5th place was Shield of Sparrows. Okay. 6th place, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. Wait a minute. Hold up. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping beat out Accomplice to the Villain. The Assistant to the Villain series has been the like 2nd or 3rd place the last 2 years, and like by a lot. So the fact that it's not even the top cozy one. I mean, I get it. I know it's a 3rd book in the series, but that's still fascinating. And then Emily Wilde. So we had 3 cozies right in a row in 6th, 7th, and 8th place. And then Enchantress and Wild Reverence to close out the top 10. And then Silver Elite only getting 11th place is, I mean, like it's interesting because like I thought it was going to be a really high placing one. And it not even making the top 10 was like stunning. And the fact that like it was so close. And then Songbird in the Heart of Stone is 12th, which is higher than I thought it was going to be. Then Direbound. Interesting. I would have thought that that would have been higher than Curse of Broadbent. Because like you could make the argument that Accomplice to the Villain is like lower because it's the third book in the series, but like technically so is Songbird in the Heart of Stone. It's at first in a duology, but it's the second duology. So it's technically the third book. And then this is interesting. The irresistible urge to fall for your enemy is higher than Rose in Chains. I did not see that one coming at all. I really thought Rose in Chains would be in the top 10. No, definitely not 16th place. Wow. Oh, Our Vicious Hearts is literally 20th. I hate that. I hate that. And got 2,500 votes. And I was one of them. Okay, well, that's a bummer. The rest of that kind of makes sense, I guess. But yeah, so let's see how we did. Okay, so in my top 20 predictions, I only had 10 that even made it into the top 20. So already, we were not doing well. Then I had 6 that ended up in the top 10. So I got 6 more points for that. Now we have to see which ones were either exact or that I got like 1 off, because we'll get half a point for 1 off. Onyx Storm, number 1. Great job. Great job. It was so stunning, so shocking. Silver Elite I had planned as number 2. It was number 11, so nothing there. Shield of Sparrows I had as number 3. It ended up in number 5, so I don't get anything there. Accomplice to the Villain I had as number 4. It was number 7. Alchemist I had number 5, and it was number 2. I could have just switched the 2 of them and it would have been great. The Night and the Moth I had as number 6. It was number 3. Direbound I had as number 7. It was number 13. Enchantra I had as number 9, and it was number 9. So we get another point for that. Rose in Chains I had as number 10. It was number 16. And then finally, The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy was number 14. And I had it picked as number 14, which is like completely lucky. So we get 3 points. So we got a total of 19 points. If we would have like completely gotten it right, which obviously like you cannot do, I would have been able to get 50 points. So that's okay. This was fun.
Rude of my phone to get interrupted, but let's go back to Shield of Sparrows.
When does book 2 come out? Not soon enough. Not soon enough. This is the problem with starting new series that only have 1 book out. That I have to wait until the new release comes out. Fortunately, I think it's only like a few months. I want to say it comes out in April. It's Rights of the Starling, which like also gorgeous. I am going to give this 4 stars. I don't think it's a perfect book. I don't think that it's like going to be like a new favorite of mine, but I do think that it has a lot of potential, a lot of promise, and I do think that a lot of people will really love this book. I think like some of the issues that I had like up until the 50% mark still stand true. I think it dragged a little bit in the middle. That ending. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyways, so my vote is officially going for the final, going to The Night and the Moth, because it is, other than Onyx Storm, the highest rating of my of the books that I read. So, I didn't read all of them. I didn't get to all 20 of them. Obviously, like, that wasn't gonna happen. I am kind of hitting a little bit of a slump since, like, doing this project, and I don't love that. So I need to figure out why and fix that. So I guess my vote was The Night and the Moth. However, Our Vicious Oaths was amazing, 5 stars. And once again, doing this for the 4th year in a row for different genres, I found a 5 star. I found a favorite. So that leads me to wonder, should I do another genre? Should I pick another genre and read the nominees from it? It probably wouldn't happen until January because, like, obviously we're almost at the end of the year. But, like, maybe I could find another genre where I could find a 5 star. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I could read the winners. But obviously the winners doesn't necessarily mean that I'll find a favorite. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see me read another genre. Maybe we'll do that. So anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you want to see the last ones where I did Romantasy last year and then I did Fantasy the year before that, I will put those 2 up on the screen right now. I don't really have a question for you. If you have thoughts on any of these books, let me know. And if you're not feeling chatty, do like the pink flower emoji. That's all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button. You can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, my Goodreads, my Threads, my Patreon, and my TikTok are all linked down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!